This is the Horse Radio Network. Hi everyone, Glenn here, founder of the Horse Radio Network. This is a very short episode, 648 of the Dressage Radio Show. Reese and Philip are off for the holidays, and I just wanted to stop by with a few announcements and to thank you for listening and making this the #1 dressage podcast in the world. Before we get to the big announcement, I wanted to thank Kentucky Performance Products, Total Saddle Fit, and Arena Saddles for their continued support of the show, and you, our listeners, for supporting our sponsors. It is because you buy from our sponsors and let them know where you heard about it. That is the reason they keep going. It's 12 years for Kentucky Performance Products, and they've renewed for another year. We appreciate you, and we appreciate our sponsors for being part of this show. I know many of you have enjoyed the Western Dressage episode every month with Stacy Westfall. We started that knowing that Stacy would only be able to do it until show season really ramped up again. Well, that time has come, and she is getting really busy, being a world champion and stuff. And Stacy has a little message here for everyone.
Hi, I'm Stacy Westfall, and I'm jumping in here for a few minutes to say that I'm going to be stepping away from the Western Dressage podcast for now. I'd like to thank Glenn and the Horse Radio Network for this opportunity, and also a big thanks to everyone who joined me over the last year and a half to share their knowledge of Western Dressage. In that time, we've covered most of the topics that make Western Dressage slightly different. We've discussed getting started in Western Dressage, showing gaited horses, and other subtle differences. We've also discussed many topics that are the same. What I love the most is that there are more similarities between dressage and Western Dressage than there are differences. I love that most of the judges that I show to and all that I interviewed on this podcast judge both. Reese and Philip have great information that also applies to Western Dressage riders. So although I won't be joining you monthly anymore, I know you'll still have access to amazing content.
I want to thank Stacy for doing the episode as long as she has and for bringing a little Western into this English house. Of course, you can still listen to Stacy all the time at her own podcast called Stacy Westfall Podcast on any podcast player. Just search for Stacy Westfall, you'll find it. It's a terrific show, and we highly encourage you to take a listen. Thanks again, Stacy, for all you've done for the Dressage Radio Show. Reese and Philip can only do 3 episodes a month because of their commitments, so if you have an idea for the one empty episode every month, please email me at glenn@horseradionetwork.com. And if you know someone who wants to continue the Western Dressage episode, I'm open to that too. Just let me know. Thank you again for listening, and for many of you becoming auditors. The donations from auditors every month help pay Reese and Philip, so they keep doing this and keep wanting to do this. So you can become an auditor just by going to horseradionetwork.com, scroll down the right-hand side of the page, click on the auditor banner, and for as little as $3 a month, you too can join the terrific auditor community on Facebook. You can get some of the perks that auditors get and extra content, and also help support Reese and Philip directly. And finally, thank you to the USDF for their continued affiliation and for making the Dressage Podcast the official show of the United States Dressage Federation. I'll be back next week with Reese and Philip's favorite interviews of the year, and they will be back the first week of January. Have a very Merry Christmas, everybody, and give your ponies a carrot from me.